One blessing we forgot to mention, it's a blessing to have Carol on again. She hasn't been able to get out for a little while with health issues, and Carol's good to have you back. Can we give her a hand clap? Welcome back. Please pray with me. Spirit of wisdom, minister to us, your people, we ask. May only truth be spoken, and may only truth be heard. Amen. I've heard it said, I think correctly, that everybody in the world, at some time or other, prays three prayers. Even if they're atheists. They pray thanks, wow, and help. And because we live in a time in which we no longer instinctively think ourselves as inextricably linked with one another, when we don't naturally think of ourselves as totally interconnected with the world around us, we tend to think of prayers in individual terms. Thanks for what I have received. Wow, for what I have experienced. Help me with this or that, and that's all fine. But it misses one of the main points of prayer, which is moving from a feeling of isolation and independence and smallness in this huge universe to a place of interdependence and connection with the beauty and grace that sustains the universe and the power of love which creates life, although at any given time, any bad thing can happen. But I find it curious that most people feel some loss of faith in God when things go wrong in their lives, when there's a tragedy. I guess religion must make an idol out of God. It tries to sell God as a good luck charm, an insurance policy that's supposed to protect us from bad luck. But it sure doesn't work that way. And the worst part is when we get thinking of God as a good luck charm, it makes us doubt and question ourselves when things don't work out well. I was visiting a woman in the hospital who's going through physical hell. She's had 6 operations that haven't worked. She says, it makes me wonder what's wrong with me. It makes me question my faith. I suggested there is nothing wrong with her, and that prayer was a reminder that God was at work with her, fighting the infections, and worked through our taxes, which provide the network of people and equipment that provide us our best chance for healing. But I pointed out the fact that we don't seem to want to talk about that God has physical limits. God can't do anything physically. God is subject to the laws of nature that God is a part of. We're all going to die. There are physical limitations. And when we read the beautiful description in the first creation story in Genesis, the author there was very brilliant because they had God beginning to create in the midst of chaos. Chaos and randomness are an essential ingredient to reality. We must never forget that randomness and chaos are an essential part of life. They're a foundational reality of life. God can't eliminate chaos, randomness, and luck. God is the energy and wisdom that finds a way of bringing harmony and life and love out of the chaos and out of death. Very different. I found it interesting the kinds of prayers you don't find in the Bible. Like, help me get a good deal on a chariot. Or a car, I guess, to me. Or, help me find a job. People didn't think in those individualistic terms back in those days. Paul did ask for healing 3 times, and then he switched his prayer to ask for strength to handle his condition. When the disciples asked Jesus to teach them to pray in today's scripture readings, he doesn't teach them an individual prayer. Jesus' model of prayer is collective. He teaches them a prayer that goes, Our Father, not my Father, who art in heaven. He says, give us this day our daily bread. Not give me this day my daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. We think we need a particular outcome to cope. It's very natural to feel that way. But Jesus in our spiritual tradition knows that we can face any outcome if we know we're not alone, if we know God is on the job and is with us and is somehow going to get us through and bring good out of it. That's what we need to know. If we stake our hopes on any kind of particular outcome, chances are we're doomed. Because life generally doesn't turn out the way we expect. I sometimes ask younger people, of all the things a police officer carries on them, what is the most powerful, important tool? And you can guess what the kids say. Gun. But it's not by a long shot. Do you know what the most powerful tool is? Huh? No? What? Their walkie-talkie. Their walkie-talkie is their most powerful tool because as long as they have that, they're never alone. And when they face a situation that they know they can't handle, their phone connects them to the full resources of the community. I mean everything all the way up to the army. That's what prayer does for us. Praying in the Jesus Jewish tradition is an experience of becoming part of the whole, realizing we're all in it together with God. Last week was Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the year in Judaism. It's a week that focuses on atonement and repentance with a 25-hour period of fasting and intensive prayer, with most of the time spent together in synagogue services. Here's an example of the prayers the Jews have been praying for 3,000 years. For the sin which we have committed before you. For the sin which we have committed before you by scheming against a fellow man. For the sin which we have committed before you by a begrudging eye. For the sin which we have committed before you by running to do evil. It's always the sin we. They understand they are a part of the family, of the collective. But this goes against the Western grain. Why should I share in confessing something I've never individually done? We hear that all the time in anger when people say, oh, why are we talking about what happened in history? That was back then. I didn't do that. I'm not responsible for that. But we are. We are all responsible collectively for everything. 2 weeks ago, a report was finally released that determined that of the 150,000 Native children who were forced to leave their homes and attend residential schools, 3% of them died in schools. And their parents weren't told until the end of the term, and their bodies were returned. So many Native children died that the government stopped keeping track of them. So of the 4,500 Native children who died in residential schools, we only know the names of 2,800 of them. People say, that's history. That's got nothing to do with me. But we live with our history. We live with the consequences of our history, and our history will never change until we change it. Last year, the Canadian Human Rights Tribunal released its findings that between 2006 and 2017, hey, that's not history, is it? 2006 to 2017, 40 to 80,000 children, youth and families, were taken from their homes and reserves in a, quote, willful and reckless way that did not even allow for a hearing before a judge. So you see, if you don't deal with the history, it keeps popping its ugly head up, doesn't it? So we pray for all of us, for all of our human family. It reminds us we all have a part to play, that we're not alone in this. And not only do we all have a part to play, but we've got other teammates that help us to make things better. Praying for one another roots us in the human spirit, which comes from humane and therefore divine. And so we have this humane divine spirit that can never be extinguished, that Heather mentioned in lighting the candle today. The Ode to Joy, our first hymn we sung, was composed when Beethoven was deaf, struggling with depression and near the end of his life. Joyful, joyful, we adore thee. There's an expression of faith. It's become a worldwide protest anthem and a celebration of music and hope. Prayer calls us to lean into hope and love. We have such a hard time, though, grasping that we're all in it together with God, that we're one cell in a living universe, and that as such, we influence the universe and the universe influences us. Or to use the more familiar metaphor, we're all part of the living body of Christ when we walk the way of love. Prayer wakes us up to the good news that just as we share a collective responsibility, we also share in the collective force for healing and harmony and life and love. No, we can't fix things by ourselves, but we can all do something. My friend discovered when he flew to Edmonton last week that he was able to offset the carbon that was released in his flight, the carbon of his part of that, with a $14 gift to an environmental organization in Nigeria that's planting trees. And those of us who are physically able, why wouldn't we get excited about planting some trees with Rainforest London on the 27th? Think of this. The value to the environment over every tree that's planted during its life ranges from, and I did some research, 20,000 a tree was the low end, and 200,000 a tree was the high end, depending on the tree and where it's planted. So every tree we plant, at a minimum, is worth $20,000 in environmental benefits to this world. So why wouldn't we get excited about that instead of getting depressed about global warming? Collective prayers like the Lord's Prayer remind us that together with God's help, we can do God's will. We can bring earth closer to heaven. We can all have bread to eat and find forgiveness as we give forgiveness. I saw that lived out last week on television in a powerful way. The scene was a courtroom in Dallas, Texas, where a white police officer by the name of Amber was found guilty of the murder of a black man by the name of Botham. Botham had been home, sitting in his chair, watching TV, chowing on some popcorn, when Amber came into his apartment, thinking it was her apartment. She saw this black man who she thought was sitting in her chair watching television. She didn't speak to him. She didn't radio for help. She just took out her gun, blasted him, and killed him. And she was found guilty of murder. Botham's brother Brent was in court giving a victim impact statement, telling how devastating this loss of his brother was for his entire family. But he ended his statement by asking the judge if he could hug and forgive Amber, his brother's murderer. There was silence, a long silence, and then the judge asked Amber if she wanted a hug, and she nodded yes. And as Brant walked over to her, she ran into his arms, and he said, "I love you as a person, and I don't wish anything bad on you." There's the we. That's the us factor. A victim so grounded in his spirituality that he was able to realize that his healing would be furthered by her healing, because we're all one. And that's not all. Brent left the courtroom with his family, and on the steps of the courthouse, his mother, who had lost her son, spoke about the other us in the equation, having affirmed her son's action of forgiveness. She then spoke truth to power, pointing out that the police department tried to hide it all. And she pointed out that a police officer who would kill an unarmed black man eating popcorn without even talking to him, and a police department that tried to cover the whole thing up, was a sign of a racist organization that had better change. There's a family who refused to be victims. Their prayers and their faith empowered them to bring healing to someone who desperately needed it, and enabled them to speak truth to power. Yes, from trials that are too great for us, spare us. From the grip of all that is evil, free us. For you reign in the glory of the power that is love, forever.